Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. It's your girl Yammi. Yeah, it's me. Can you see? I have cube steak and that's what I'm making for dinner tonight. I buy it cubed up. You know, you can buy a pack with cube. I got a pack and I thought it was only like 8 cube steaks in there, and I'm thinking, when I open it up, or not 8, I thought there was just 6 in there. Come to find out there was 8 in there. I'm like, ooh, yum. So split that in half, so there's 2 meals out of 1 package, so not too bad then. And there's some pretty big pieces, some thick pieces. Normally I've been finding them where they're a lot thinner. These are thicker, so these are going to take a little longer to cook, so I figure I better get going on it now. I put my olive oil in the pan to heat up already. Now I have to season them, so let's do that. Alright, to season, I'm just going to use some Lowry seasoning salt, a little bit of garlic powder, or granulated garlic powder. I like that better. So, I hear you out there, McGribble. Alrighty, and we'll let that sit for a second. I gotta get the breading out. Yes, I'm cheating out and making instant potatoes tonight. I went to go peel my potatoes and my potatoes were no longer any good, so I'm doing instant. So far I put in here some flour, but paper crumbs. Oh, these will make it nice and crispy a little bit. So I always like to throw a little bit in there with it. And I'm going to take a fork. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little garlic powder in there. A little bit of seasoning salt. I like to add a little flavor with my flour, because the meat can be seasoned, but then you taste the flour part and that's not seasoned. I don't like that, so I like to season it. So I've got my tongs. Flip them over. This one must be for Boo because it's a J for Jay. Bit of garlic. You take one piece at a time. Let's go check the grease. Olive oil. It's getting hot. To test and see if it's hot, put a little drop of water on your hand and it's getting there. Because you can hear that little snapping. Sounds like Rice Krispies. That's from the water. So it's almost hot enough to put the meat in. Because you don't want to put the meat in there when the oil's not hot. You won't get a crispy outside. Okay. There we go. Could have been a little hotter. I always try to remember which ones I put in first. Because once they're in here, I don't like to mess with them until I have to flip them. Looks like I can fit one more, but I'm not going to. Just do 2 at a time. I will let this cook for about 5 minutes and then I'll check it. Okay, it's been cooking about 5 minutes, so come on now. There we go. Alright, we'll let them cook about 5 minutes, but you see it nice and crispy there? That's what we want. Okay, first two. Look at how golden brown those are. Oh, there you go. How golden brown those are. Alright. So putting in the last two pieces. There we go. Now we'll let those cook. This one should be about ready to turn. There we go. Alright, they're both flipped over and almost ready to come out. Then I'm going to cook my onions in there, put the meat back in there, and make a gravy over top. Alright, so I got the onions in there, just cooking them, getting them nice and soft. Gonna take them out before they get mushy. And then I'll throw them back in with the food and the gravy towards the end of the cook cycle. But I'm just steady, just going away. I have a bad habit of just working and going and not thinking and not stopping to turn you guys back on so you guys can watch. So all I did was slice up the onions, threw them in there whole, or not whole, but you know, whole slices. And as they start to heat up, they will separate. Just by doing this, they separate. And getting there. I want them a little bit softer than this. You don't have to do this. You can keep your onions in there. And I'm taking mine out for right now. I kind of want the texture of the onion to still have a little bit of a, not a crunch to it, but I don't want it to just mush in your fork, you know. So taking them out, there we go. Now at this point I would take some flour, throw it in here, make a roux to make my gravy, but I'm not doing that. I have brown gravy here, and this is what I like to use. If I want something different, I make my own gravy. I made up 2 cups of gravy here. There's only a cup and a half here right now. I need another half a cup. But I'm going to throw a cup and a half with the gravy mix. And then another half a cup. Now I'll start taking my meat, because it's not cooked all the way through. I'm just going to set it down in there. Alright, cover them up in there. Now I'm going to take my onions and just throw them on top. I wanted the onions on top so that way they cook on top instead of underneath. Now I'm going to throw this in the oven for about half hour, 45 minutes. Set the timer. 30 minutes. And we'll check on it in 30 minutes. Alright, that's what the plate looks like afterwards. The steak, yep, tender, mashed potatoes, and corn. Alrighty, I gotta get a piece of meat with some onion. I got a big onion on there. Oops. Alright. I made a mess on myself. Boo's trying to steal my meat. Leave my meat alone. Leave my corn alone.
I just want one kernel.
You got your own kernels.
Just one kernel.
Okay, have one kernel. Obi's cleaning the... where my fork fell. But the meat is nice and tender. I think browning it and then putting it in the oven and letting it cook, it really does even it out more than if you would just leave it on the stove. So I like to do it that way. You can do it any way you want, but this is the way I like it. Alright guys, I'm going to go eat before it gets cold. So I will see you next time. And as always, thank you for being here, and I love you all. Bye.